One New York Rangers forward prospect who I think really needs to kind of show a lot this year and really impress at, training camp, as well as just, overall in the AHL this year. He needs to really show something because he is already 24 years old, and that is former undrafted free agent of the New York Rangers, Bobby Trivigno. And this guy, like I said, was an undrafted free agent. If he was 4 or 5 inches taller, he probably would have been drafted, but because he is 5'8", 161 pounds. So I'm sure that probably factored in a bit to why he went undrafted, because he does have a ton of talent, good playmaker, good overall player, plays with a pretty high motor as well. But he has won some awards at the NCAA level, a one-time national championship. He's got a two-time NCAA East first All-American team, which is obviously pretty cool to see, as well as two-time NCAA Hockey East champion as well. So he's won a few things at the NCAA level. Has obviously played last year with the Hartford Wolfpack, has experience down the middle, but is more likely going to be a winger at the pro level here for sure. But overall, he plays the high motor. He plays bigger than he is, kind of like that Brett Berard type, who's kind of a small forward but plays with a good motor. He's not afraid to hit and stuff like that. Get a little feisty as well. It's definitely nice to see the small guys like this. But I think overall, he has the potential to be probably a maybe middle six guy. He's not really that type of a fourth line kind of role like I think a Brett Berard could be. I don't think he has that kind of two-way, that type of a game. But I think overall maybe can be a decent third line scorer one day at the NHL level. Now we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, it's possible. You see all these stories all the time, not all the time, but a decent amount here and there of guys who they kind of just go undrafted, maybe start in the ECHL, the AHL, the pro level, and end up making their way up when they're 25, 26, 27 years old. So that is definitely a possibility for a guy like Bobby here. But I think, he's very talented. He's a great playmaker, a very talented playmaker, pretty good shot, and score goals. But, the main thing with his game is definitely his playmaking, I'd say. But I think overall, he has a good offensive game, a very smart player, pretty tough as well, especially for a 5'8" guy. He is quite tough, but he definitely, that size is definitely against him, but still has some decent upside. I'm not saying he's going to be a first or second line guy more than likely, but like I said, maybe he can be a decent third line scoring kind of guy. That's definitely a possibility. The two-way game will definitely have to get a bit better to probably be in that role, but I think overall there's definitely still that chance he could become that. In his last year at the University of Massachusetts, was the captain, and the previous year as well was the assistant captain. So, he's clearly a decent leader if he's, had the assistant captain and the captain last couple of years in the NCAA level. So that's pretty good to see. But his last year there in 2021, 2022, had 37 games played, 20 goals, 29 assists for 49 points with a plus 22. Those are pretty good numbers for a guy who went undrafted. I mean, those are not bad numbers at all. The previous year in 2020, 2021, when he was the assistant captain of UMass, had 29 games played there, 11 goals, 23 assists, 34 points, and was plus 21 there as well. So he's been a really good player overall at the NCAA level, even the previous year. His second year, sophomore year at UMass, 34 games played, 20 points, not terrible, plus 21. And his freshman year, had 39 games played, 28 points, plus 9. Those are very solid numbers as well. So overall, has been a very good player at UMass, at the NCAA level. And UMass, you're playing some very good teams. That's one of the better, overall, just kind of organizations, whatever you want to say, at the NCAA level. So playing for a good organization there, obviously produced a ton of great talented players. A guy like Zach Jones actually came out of UMass as well, so that's pretty cool. But overall, he's just been really good. In his first year of pro, back in 2021 and 2022, when his season ended at the college level there, played 11 games after that season with the Hartford Wolfpack. 11 games played, 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points, was -4. So, not the best numbers there, but overall was still decent. And then this past year, in his first full year of pro hockey, 57 games played, 7 goals, 19 assists, 26 points, plus 13, not bad. I think those numbers were a little underwhelming. I would have liked to probably see him be like low to mid 30s kind of thing. Would have been a little better to see, but still not the worst start to his pro career. But like I said, getting into that, kind of maybe 30, 31, 34 kind of range, something around there, would have been a little nicer to see. And then the playoffs that year as well, had 9 games played, 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points, plus 2. So not bad. His numbers were solid. Not as good as I was kind of expecting / hoped, but I still think there's something there. Maybe he might just be a good AHL guy for his career. He might just be one of those kind of guys. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe he ends up going overseas eventually. Who knows, really? Just because his game type doesn't really fit well in a fourth line kind of role when you want to have that kind of, really good defensive kind of two-way forward on that fourth line who can penalty kill and stuff like that. That's not really his game. So that's why I kind of think that, he really only kind of fits on the third line, because I don't think he has the talent to be a first or second line kind of guy. But he also doesn't have that kind of two-way game to where he could be a fourth liner. So I think the best fit for him is on a third line in the NHL if he can, get his game up to that level. Now, maybe he does prove me wrong and become a second liner. We'll have to wait and see. But I think if he does make the NHL, which I definitely don't think it's a guarantee, he will more than likely be in a third line role, because, like I said, the fourth liners are normally your penalty killers, your good two-way guys. Now, maybe he does end up on the fourth line. That's a possibility, obviously. But I just think that, if you're going to the playoffs, for example, you don't want a guy like this on your fourth line just because his two-way game's not there. You can't penalty kill, really. So I do think that there's definitely better options for a fourth line. But maybe he can prove me wrong and become a very good NHL guy one day. We'll have to wait and see. I'm definitely here for that if he can. But if not, could have a very good career in the AHL or overseas. That is definitely a very realistic possibility. But anyways, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts on Bobby in the comment section down below. Like I say, he's a good playmaker, good shooter, good overall, pretty smart offensive player. The two-way game can use some work. Only 5'8", but plays a bit bigger than he is. Let me know your guys' thoughts on his game. Do you think he's going to make the NHL one day? Do you think he's going to make the Rangers at some point this year, next year, the year after that? Let me know your guys' thoughts. Thanks for watching, and see ya.